All right, guys, it's Lock In Thursday. I am Brutus J from the Brutus J podcast. And just like I promised you guys, we have a very special show today where we're going to talk about youth football and recruiting. And also, I have a very special story I'm going to tell you guys about my son's recruiting trail. I promise you, it's going to touch a lot of you. But also, we're going to preview the upcoming NFL weekend as well as college football. So, hey, you know my saying, let's talk about it. All right, guys, as I said, I am Brutus J from Brutus J Podcast, and we have a great show today, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about youth football, recruiting, and plus I have a fabulous story to tell you guys regarding my son's recruiting trail. And if you have kids in middle school and high school, I promise you, you will be touched. But as I said, we are going to start off the show by talking about the upcoming NFL football weekend as well as college football weekend, starting with the Eagles on the road at the New York Football Giants. Folks, this game will be closer than the experts think. It's in New York, it's at nighttime, and Jackson Dart has been coming along very well. I think the Eagles will win the game, but I do think, as I said, the Giants will keep it close. Broncos on the road. Well, actually, it's in London. The Broncos going against the Jets in London, and we saw what the Broncos did last week. Down 15 points against the Philadelphia Eagles and were able to come back and win that game. And guess what? They're going to win again in London against the Jets, the winless Jets. You know, I feel bad for Aaron Glenn, you know, but hopefully he'll get this Jets team turned around. But unfortunately, it won't be this week. Browns on the road at the Steelers. The Steelers they had a bye last week, you know, coming home, playing against the Browns, the struggling Browns, who still got a quarterback situation, even though Dylan Gabriel in the loss against Minnesota, he played pretty well. So, I don't think they're going to beat the Steelers, but, the Browns, had a decent game against Minnesota, a very decent game against Minnesota, but unfortunately, playing at Pittsburgh is going to result in another loss. Chargers on the road in Miami. And folks, I don't know what's going on, with the Chargers. They started off 3-0 and they've lost 2 in a row. They lost to the Giants and they lost to the Commanders last week. And now they're on the road at the struggling Miami Dolphins, who just lost the game what they should have won in Carolina. The spread on this game is, the Chargers minus 3.5. I look forward to the Chargers winning this game. Patriots, the hot Patriots, who won 2 in a row, including upsetting the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo last week. Patriots at the Saints. Right time, right place. I got the Patriots winning this game. The spread is New England minus 3.5. Take the Patriots and the points. Rams on the road at the struggling Ravens. Hey, the Ravens, man, I don't know when Lamar coming back, but they need him. They need him bad, man. They did not look good, against the Detroit Lions. But we are talking about the Detroit Lions, and the Rams ain't going to be that much of a difference. The spread in this game, believe it or not, in Baltimore, the Rams minus 7.5. I don't know if they're going to do it like that, but I think the Rams are going to win this game. Cardinals on the road at the Colts, and I'm taking the Colts all the way to Colts. Even though they got that one loss to the Rams, they look good. They look really good running the ball, throwing the ball, and I got to tell you, Daniel Jones is looking good. A lot of people not talking about him, but he's looking good in that Colts uniform. I got the Colts winning this game, and the spread on this one is minus 7.5 in Indianapolis. I don't know about that many points, but I got the Colts winning this game. Seattle on the road at Jacksonville. Now, this is going to be a good game, a real good game. I just don't trust Sam Darnold on the road that much, especially against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville has been on the road. So I have the Jaguars winning this game. The spread in this game, Seattle minus 1.5. I actually, still I'll take the Jaguars to win this game. Cowboys on the road against the Panthers. No, Cowboys. You cannot lose this game right here. You cannot lose this game. This is one you got to win. Now, you on a good roll. That was a good victory, even though it was the Jets. You guys have got to win this game right here. Dallas minus 3.5. I am taking the Cowboys in this game in Carolina. Tennessee Titans on the road at the Oakland Raiders. Well, Vegas Raiders. Look at me. Tennessee on the road against the Raiders. Both teams are 1-4, and Titans, they got away with one last week. I mean, I didn't really elaborate on the game, but you had the running back from Arizona who thought he scored a touchdown, but he dropped the ball before he hit the goal line. I think there was a big difference in the game that cost Arizona that game. In this game, I still believe the Raiders will come out on top with this game. The Titans had a little bit of luck last week, but I think it's going to run out when they go to Vegas this weekend. So take the Raiders with the minus 3.5. 49ers on the road against the Buccaneers. And hey, I love the 49ers. If you guys remember in the show last week, I said, that Mac Jones looks a lot better on the center with the 49ers than Purdy. And I'm taking the 49ers in this game. It's going to be a tough game. They got the Bucks, minus 3.5. I am definitely taking the Niners with the points. So I got the Niners on the road with the big upset against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though the Bucks playing good ball, the Niners are also playing good ball with a big victory at the Rams, LA Rams, their last game. Bengals on the road at the Packers, folks. It's really no need to even elaborate over this game. The Packers are going to win this game. I've said it and I say it again. The Bengals without Joe Burrow are not winning the game anytime soon. So you can take the Packers on this. And this spread is Green Bay minus 14.5. Honestly, you might as well take that. You might as well take, those points. The Lions on the road at the Chiefs. This is another good game. KC minus 2.5. It's going to be a good game. I'm going to take Detroit Lions. Kansas City, honestly, they haven't been looking that good this year, even at home. They had the one big win against the Ravens, but we all know what's going on with the Ravens. Other than that, I mean, every game they've been in has been, really close. And we know Detroit, they got an offense. I'm going to take Detroit in this game. I think Detroit is going to win this game. The Buffalo Bills are in Atlanta against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons, they're coming off a bye, 2-2. Buffalo got upset last week by the Patriots. I want to go for the Falcons in this game. I really do. I mean, it's a Monday night game, prime time, but the Falcons just don't do good in spots like this. They just don't. So I'm going to pick Buffalo to win this game. The spread is Buffalo minus 4.5. I'm going to take the points. I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to win this game, but I hope the Atlanta Falcons win this game. But I'm going to take Buffalo with the hope that Atlanta wins the game. All right, you got the Chicago Bears on the road against the Washington Commanders. The Bears, they're a little hot. They coming off a bye. They're 2-2. They've won 2 straight. The Commanders, they went to L.A. and beat the Chargers last week. So this should be a pretty solid game, but I'm going to take the Commanders because, like I said, Jaden Daniels came back last week and he looked decent. And, this is going to be coming back to a home game, and I think he's going to look even better. So I'm going to take the Commanders, and the spread on this one is Washington minus 4.5. I'll take the Commanders with the points on this one. So that pretty much wraps up your NFL weekend. Now we're going to jump into some college. And, hey, it's some decent games this weekend in college. We're going to go over this top 25, beginning with the South Carolina Gamecocks on the road in Death Valley against the LSU Tigers. LSU coming off a bye. It's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And if LSU want to start answering those questions, it's this weekend. You got home field advantage. It's a night game. Everything every Tiger fan could ask for. Now, you need to learn how to block. You need to run the ball, and we need to pass the ball better. If you go in the game the same way you went in the game against Ole Miss, South Carolina will upset you because I can tell you, Sellers is a beast. Sellers is a beast. Now, South Carolina is struggling. They are struggling. They lost against Missouri. Missouri's a good team. I think South Carolina's now lost 2 in a row. And so they're hungry. They're looking for a win. But I think the LSU Tigers are going to pull this game out. The spread in this one's LSU minus 9.5. I don't know if it's going to be by that much, but I'm going to take the LSU Tigers to win this game. Ohio State on the road at Illinois. All I can say is this right here. What Illinois loves to do is what Ohio State loves to stop, and that's stopping the run. Not only that, stop the pass too. They're number one in almost every defensive category. So I'm taking Ohio State in this game. The spread in this one, believe it or not, is minus 14.5. With Illinois at home, I would probably take those points though. I would take those points. They're a pretty tough team at home, but who knows? Upsets happen around this time when it comes to Ohio State. But I'm rolling with the Buckeyes. Bama at Missouri. Now, this right here is going to be a tough game. A lot of people think that Alabama is going to go in and run away with this game, but I don't. I wouldn't be shocked if they did, but I think Missouri is going to play them tough. They're a pretty tough team, on the road. One thing you cannot say about Missouri is that they don't have the best running back, not only in the SEC, but the best running back in college football. I mean, this kid is getting it. Ahmad Hardy, he is really getting it. He already has 103 carries, 9 TDs, 730 yards. It don't seem like a lot, but yards after contact, this guy is killing it. He is killing it. He is really, really, really good. I think Alabama's going to win this game, but I think it's going to be closer than the experts think. Missouri coming in at 5-0, and we know Alabama is 4-1. The spread on this game is Alabama minus 2.5. So I think it's going to be a close game. Pitt on the road against Florida State. Florida State has lost 2 games in a row. They're at home. Pitt can be a bit tough and scrappy, but I think that Florida State will get back on the road with that running game, and they're going to win this game. Now, the next game, I didn't even know nothing about this game right here. I didn't even know that Ole Miss had Washington State on the schedule, but Washington State Cougars are on the road at Ole Miss this weekend. Ole Miss is also coming off a bye. They're coming in hot, 5-0, and Washington State is 3-2. The spread on this game is Mississippi minus 31.5. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points for you people out there who like to play your parlay. That's a lot of points. I'm gonna take Ole Miss in this, but I don't know if it's gonna be by that much. I mean, that's a lot of points, but Ole Miss, I got winning this game. Indiana on the road against Oregon. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. You can say what you want. You can say what you want about Indiana when it comes to football. We know we used to them being good in basketball. You can say what you want, but I say it again. Indiana probably has top 2, top 3 best coach in the game right now at developing players. He don't go out and recruit 4, 5 stars. He gets in the transfer portal. He gets, decent players, but this guy can flat out coach. I think Oregon is going to win this game, but once again, close. Oregon minus 6.5. Indiana comes in at number 7, Oregon number 3. Both teams are 5-0. I got Oregon winning this game, but as I said, close. Oklahoma and Texas. We all know this is the Red River rivalry, and I know what's going on with Arch Manning, and I know what's going on with Oklahoma and their quarterback situation. Regardless, there is a rumor that John Mateer has been, upgraded to probable, which means it's a chance he can play. And we know Arch has his struggles. To me, even if both quarterbacks are healthy, this game is going to be close because it's always close, even though last year Texas ran away with it. I got a feeling this year is going to be a little bit closer because Texas, they need to bounce back. I don't think they're going to win this game. I got Oklahoma winning this game. But as I said before previous games, I think it's going to be a little close. I got Oklahoma winning this game. Spread in this one, believe it or not, is Texas minus 1.5. But it's been going back and forth because, like I said, it's a rumor that John Mateer might play in this game. Virginia Tech on the road at the Rambling Wreck, Georgia Tech, number 13 Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech 5-0. Spread in this one, Georgia Tech minus 14.5. I am taking Tech, but I don't know about all those points because sometimes, I'm just telling you, sometimes Georgia Tech, I got them winning this game, but this is going to be one of these games that's a little later, in the year, in the middle of the year, that can have upset ramifications. I think Georgia Tech going to win this game, but I really can see Virginia Tech playing them a little tough. NC State on the road at Notre Dame. NC State does not play good on the road. If this was at NC State, I would look at it being more of a tougher game. But I got Notre Dame running away in this game, right? I got Notre Dame running away. Spread in this one is Notre Dame minus 22.5. I can see them winning by that much. Iowa State on the road at Colorado. We all know the situation with Prime and his leg. We praying and hoping he get better. I hate this going on right now because, Iowa State, I think they're going to win this game. Iowa State is a real tough team, and Colorado going through a lot of struggles right now. So I look forward to Iowa State winning this game. The spread in this one is only minus 2.5 Iowa State, but I got Iowa State winning this game. Arkansas on the road at Tennessee. Arkansas got a lot going on. As you know, they fired their head coach and promoted Bobby Petrino as the new head coach, and then he fired the defensive coordinator. It's just a lot going on in Arkansas right now. Tennessee is rolling. It's in Knoxville. I got the Vols winning this game. The spread in this one is Tennessee minus 11.5. Florida on the road at Texas A&M. All right, Florida, you got your best wide receiver back, and hey, he looked good. Lagway looked good. Both of them connected. They look good against Texas and a dominant win against Texas. Say what you want about Arch or whatever, but Florida looked dominant in that game. However, they're playing in College Station, and I think the Aggies are going to win this game. So give me Texas A&M the spread in this game. Texas A&M minus 7.5. It wouldn't shock me if it was closer than 7.5, but I'm still taking Marcel Reed and the Aggies. Kansas on the road at Texas Tech. Texas Tech, another team under the radar. They still look good. Offensively, defensively, Texas Tech have been looking really, really good. Kansas is a decent team. Sooner or later, people are kind of talking about Texas Tech, but the more wins they start racking up, you're going to hear more and more people talking about Texas Tech. I told you, they spent a lot of money in that transfer portal, so look out for the Red Raiders. They're going to win this game. All right, Georgia on the road at Auburn. I'm worried about Georgia offensive line. I am. I'm worried about their offensive line in this game. Auburn can flat out get at you, and they're hard to beat at home. If Auburn quarterback give them a decent game, if he gives them a decent game, I think the game can be close or whatever. If they can win a turnover battle, I think Auburn will win this game. But the only reason I'm going to pick Georgia in this game is because of the running game. I think Georgia somehow, some way can manage to wear them down because I don't think Auburn's quarterback, I don't think Jackson Arnold is going to do enough for Auburn to win this game. They got an elite receiver who can't get the ball. He can't get the ball, when he's open. This is the only reason why I'm picking Georgia to win this game. But it's going to be close. Michigan on the road at USC. USC coming off a loss. Hey, Justice Haynes. That's all I got to tell you, Justice Haynes. I think Michigan is going to go to USC and put a whooping on them. I think, this is going to be their toughest game since Oklahoma, and that game was on the road. And it wasn't a bad game. It was significantly close. And I think this game on the road is really going to show how good Michigan is because people are saying since that Oklahoma game, they ain't really played nobody. I think this is a game where Michigan is going to go to USC and be dominant and win this game on the West Coast. Give me Michigan. The spread is USC minus 2.5. I will take Michigan in those points. BYU on the road at Arizona, Big 12 matchup. BYU minus 2.5. I got BYU winning this game, and they will continue to stay undefeated. And just like others, they are under the radar. And finally, number 21, Arizona State is on the road at Utah. Both teams are 4-1. You can give me Arizona State. When I saw Texas Tech go to Utah and put something on them, that told me Utah ain't the same this year. And if Texas Tech can go there, and Texas Tech is a good team, but if Texas Tech can go there and do that to them, then I think Arizona State can do the same thing. So you can give me Arizona State over Utah Utes. So that pretty much wraps up the college football weekend. It's going to be another fun-filled weekend of football. Now, let's talk about the youth when it comes to football, people. We all know Brutus J loves the youth. I love watching, kids develop. When I was younger, I remember, growing up, 5, 6, 7 years old, 7, 8 years old. I used to go out, early in the morning, early Saturday morning. I used to do it early Saturday morning, early Sunday morning. I would have a football and it'd just be me by myself. I'd go outside, throw the ball in the air, act like I'm the quarterback, act like I'm the running back, the receiver, the kicker, the whole nine. Matter of fact, my nephew did the same thing growing up. I got a nephew, CJ Kelly. Some of you guys know him. But he did the same thing. He got that from his uncle. But I used to love doing it. And I I played football. I played flag football when I was 7 years old, 7 and 8. I played 9 and 10 football. I didn't play 11 and 12, and I never played football again until my junior year in high school. A lot of people know me from my high school days. I wasn't really good at football, but I knew the game, but I wasn't really good at it. But when we're talking, X's and O's, what team got this, what team can do this defensively, offensively, I knew all that. I mean, I've always been a sports junkie, always. Now, back then, stuff was kind of different. Like I said, you had flag football, um, you had 7 and 8. Stuff is a lot different nowadays. They're putting kids out here in helmets now at the ages of 4 and 5 years old. And now, as we know, the study of CTE has came out, and folks, CTE is real. People don't want to hear about it, but it's real. It's real. It's a brain thing. It's real. To me personally, like my son, he played 7 and 8 football and up. That's it. 7 and 8, 9 and 10. He didn't do 11 and 12, and then he went straight to high school. Didn't even play middle school football. Now, he didn't do flag, but in my opinion, I don't think that kids should be putting helmets on at the ages of 5 and 6. I feel like kids should start off with flag football, learn all the fundamentals. And if you want to start your kid off like maybe 9 and 10 football, after a few years of flag, then I think it's perfect. Even though flag football is really coming up, there's NFL players who are interested in flag football. So flag football is coming up. But all I'm saying is I think you should start off if your child is interested, and please people, know if they're interested or not. If they're not interested, do not force it on them. Don't force football, any kind of sport on your kid, especially football. Because if you try to force football on your kid and they ain't interested, I can promise you the outcome won't be good. I've seen it many, many, many times. So you want to know if they're interested. But if they are, I would recommend flag football as far as fundamentals, maybe 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then maybe that 9 and 10, 11 and 12, put them in tackle football. But let them learn the fundamentals, because when you just put them out there in a helmet and pads and stuff and they don't know what they're doing, it might not look too good. It might not look too good. That's just my opinion. This is my opinion, but I can promise you this. A lot of other people are doing this nowadays, especially with the study of CTE. And don't get me wrong, CTE can happen anytime. It can happen at any time. But that's my opinion. Now, um, my son, again, he played 7 and 8, tackle football, 9 and 10 tackle football, and 11 and 12, he didn't play. He didn't play any middle school. My son, he started off in high school as a as a freshman at Woodland High School. And I'm not gonna lie to you, my son was a bit of a late bloomer. Height wise, right now, my son is 6'7", 310 pounds. As a freshman in high school, he was around 6'4". He was around 6'4", soaking wet, probably like I want to say like 190, 200 pounds. Um, I wanted him to really develop. So his ninth and his 10th grade year, he really didn't do nothing. I mean, you could say the quote unquote, he probably gonna get mad at me for this. Mind y'all, before I decide to tell this story, I asked my son, hey, you mind if I get on my podcast and tell your recruiting trail? He was like, oh, I don't care. Just go ahead and do it. So, like I said, his ninth grade year and his 10th grade year and part of his 11th grade year, this kid was still developing. I mean, he was still developing because, like I said, after 9 and 10, he took a few years off. So we talking 5, 6 years without football. So ninth grade, he didn't really do much, still learning. 10th grade, he didn't really do much, still learning. 11th grade, he played probably like maybe 3, 4 games as an offensive tackle. Left tackle, right tackle. He played a few games on defense. He played defensive tackle a few games, but mainly on offense. So his junior year, at the end of his junior year, I noticed, his body was starting to develop more. By this time he was like 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", still growing. So I told myself, I need to start doing a little bit more research in this thing because I know sports, but like I hear all this stuff about Twitter all the time. Kids on Twitter, communicating with coaches and stuff. I told him, I said, we're gonna put together something, doing your at the end of your junior year, going to your senior year. So I started putting him in a whole bunch of camps, particularly Rusty Manziel camps. A lot of you people know who Rusty Manziel is. The guy is known, and he's like the god of high school football in the state of Georgia when it comes to helping guys get noticed and stuff in camps and stuff. So I started putting my son in all these MVP camps, but at the same time, I had him also working out and training with a guy who runs this place called Velocity. His name is Josh. God, I can't think of Josh's last name right now. But Josh specialized in training offensive linemen. So I had him doing that, and going to camps. And, he was winning some of these camp awards, like where Scout said and stuff. Like I say, Rusty would post these videos on Twitter. And so I would run my son's Twitter, literally. I would run it. I would make posts on there with videos and tag different colleges and whatever. Mind you, my son went to a school to where, recruiting, like they didn't have like a lot of big time recruits coming through there. So they weren't really known like that. And plus this school, they weren't winning games like this. So it was hard to get noticed. So it was good that I was doing this. I even went to the point of tagging newspapers. So hear me out, family. I was tagging newspapers, like the local newspapers, like, hey, hey, my son was at this camp, this and that or whatever. There's also this this Twitter page they call Northwest Georgia Football, where they always, they post, high school football players of the week, different schools all over the Northwest Georgia area. Every video, every picture, anything I did with my son, I would tag them and they would repost it. And when I tell you those people helped out in his recruiting, they helped out big time. I also contacted another guy. God, I don't know why I can't remember this guy's name, but he helped out too. But he specialized in helping out kids or whatever get recruited. But the bottom line is there are people out there who can help your kid get recruited. Don't just stay mom and count on the schools. If you just count on the school, it ain't gonna happen. Now, if your kid at a big time program where they got coaches and staff who help out like that, then that's fine. Even then, I would still try to get out there and help my kid to do it, even if it's a big time school. But there's schools out there who do a real good job. Now, back to my son. So, summer year going into his senior year, all the camps and stuff. All of a sudden, he started getting messages from school like Marshall, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia State, Georgia Tech, South Alabama. So he was just going to all these schools working out for these different types of schools and stuff. Now, the thing is, when you're a late bloomer like that, coaches are going to start to wonder, okay, if he's a senior and he's this big and stuff, like why Why doesn't he have any offers? They're gonna start to wonder that. They'll start to wonder that a lot, right? All right. So all of a sudden, it started, the senior year started, in football. He was having a decent year. Had a lot of pancakes. I mean, this boy was killing it out there. I used to post all kind of videos that were getting reposted. He was killing it out there. But, we weren't getting no big time offers. It was only teams like New Hampshire, Lehigh University. He had visits to come to the school. Georgia Tech came to the school. Brent Key came. You had Yale. Yale came and visited him one time. Just a lot of schools that would come and visit, but they weren't offering. The only two schools that offered was New Hampshire and Lehigh University. Now, here's the part we're gonna get to that's gonna touch a lot of y'all. It's gonna take a minute, but just bear with me. So, New Hampshire offered him his first scholarship. And they had it set up to where he was gonna come up there and visit them. All of us were gonna come up there, we were gonna have dinner, all this stuff. We had it set up. And also, same thing with Lehigh. Had it set up to where we were gonna come to their school, have dinner on a recruiting visit, everything paid for, all of that. And so I just tell my son, hey, okay, all right, so we got 2 recruiting visits set up, which is cool. But trust me, son, let's be patient and see where this thing goes. Well, he was so interested in New Hampshire, he wanted to commit because they were the first one who offered him. He said, Dad, I think I want to commit. I said, you want to commit to New Hampshire? He said, yeah. I said, well, if that's what you want to do, I said, go ahead, son, do it. He committed. Soon as he committed, the New Hampshire coach hit him up and said, no, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that right now. Don't do that right now. It's too early. Just wait it out. And I said to myself, well, why would a coach tell him to do that if he's interested in going now? And so I was telling my son something not right about that or whatever. So I called the coach and he was like, well, yeah, Mr. Hicks, it's still early, I just want him to try to wait the, recruiting process out. So I was like, okay, understood. Well, here comes Lehigh. Lehigh comes around. However, this coach was different. We never met the New Hampshire coach. Lehigh coach came to our house. My wife cooked him a dinner, everything. He set up all the flights, was telling us Jarvis is a priority, and they can't wait to get him up there. They've been looking at him for a minute, all of this. All right, flight gets set up. Son very excited, just me and him. Lehigh is in Pennsylvania. So we get on a plane, go to Philadelphia. We get up there and snowy, beautiful campus, older campus, but it's huge, a big campus. So we get up there. My son is excited. We get to his hotel room, and the hotel room is set up with a lot of stuff in his name, like cookies. They got a bunch of cookies, a bunch of decoratives over there, like with all his name and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, this is real nice. This might be it. So we walk around the whole campus and we get to the student store. He's happy. We buy some stuff or whatever, some Lehigh stuff. I mean, this kid is excited, right? All right, so we go to dinner. All the recruits go to dinner, and we get back to the hotel, and we sleep in. He had his own room. Of course, I had mine. So we sleep in, and then the next morning, they say, hey, the coaches want to talk to all the recruits one on one. So, okay, cool. So I'm downstairs and we waiting, and so the coach like, hey, he want to see y'all now. And we go in there, and it's just one coach, the head coach, and he's sitting there. He looked at us. He said, Jarvis, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to rescind your scholarship. My mouth dropped. I said, what? We're gonna have to rescind your scholarship. We had a guy who decommitted from us, and now he's coming back. So we're gonna have to, rescind your scholarship. My heart dropped. Only thing I can think of, this kid came up here happy. Remember, purchasing stuff, with Lehigh on it. I mean, he was extremely happy. He was happy. I'm sitting here heartbroken. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had tears coming out my eyes. I turned and look at my son. That boy had his head up. His head was straight up. He looked at the coach and he looked at me. He said, "Hey, it's fine, Daddy. It's fine. It's fine, Daddy." I said, "All right, son. All right, son." We leave out of there. And he said, "Daddy, where you going?" I said, "I'm going to my hotel room." And he said, "You all right?" I said, "Nah, son, I'm not all right." I said, "What you doing?" You know what this kid said? "I'm about to go eat breakfast with the rest of the recruits." Here I am, his daddy, and he's stronger than me. Y'all, I went up in that hotel room and I cried like a baby. That's how hot and upset and emotional I was. This kid was strong. We got done and rode on a shuttle back with the rest of the kids who had scholarship offers with their parents. He was the only one, I think it was another kid, who got their scholarship rescinded. So we had to ride back on the shuttle to the plane with those guys. And we get back, we get back to Georgia. And I never forget that car ride home. My son looked at me and he said, "Daddy, what are we going to do now?" And I looked and I said, "I don't know, son." I said, "I really don't know." I said, "We're going to keep pushing forward and we're going to keep posting videos and tagging coaches." And I said, "Sooner or later, something going to happen." Y'all, this was around, like, the middle of January. It was like close to the end of January. This was on a Sunday. Remember, we got back that Sunday. 2 days later on a Tuesday, I can remember I was at work. And when my son get a notification, I get a notification on Twitter because remember I ran his Twitter. Y'all, we got a message from the University of North Carolina. It was one of Mac Brown's assistants. And he said, "Mac Brown wants your son to come and play football for the University of North Carolina." That message is still in my son's Twitter account. He'll never let it go. And I give the glory to God. The University of North Carolina has done my son well. So we lost and came up bigger and even better 2 days later. Mac Brown, he's not at University of North Carolina no more, but I thank God for that man for letting my son, come to that university. And like I said, ever since then, my son has been living the life. I didn't think he can be 6 hours away from his daddy, but he has did well. And again, I thank God for Mac Brown. I don't like to see coaches lose their job, but that guy at Lehigh who did that, the same year that happened, their program went like 1-9, and that coach was let go. He was let go. And the reason I'm telling you guys this, coaches will lie. Coaches will lie to you. They will lie to you. Parents, train your kids up well, on that recruiting trail, keep their mind stable. Always have a extra option out there because you just never know. You never know, especially it's money involved out here. My son, money didn't get involved till like his sophomore year, as far as college football. It didn't NIL didn't start coming to his sophomore year or whatever, but it's money involved now heavily. So, when you out there on that recruiting trail, keep your eyes open, all kind of options out there. Don't believe everything you hear. But I promise you, your kids will be all right. There's good parents out there who in it for more of the degree than the money. To me, those are the ones, who are gonna make it. I love hearing good stories where kids are making money or helping their parents out though. We just can't be too greedy. We can't be too greedy. It's all about their education. All right. It's all about their education. But that's what I want to share with you guys tonight. That's what I want to share with you guys. I really do feel like this is episode 9. And I think this is probably gonna be my longest and my best episode. So thank you again. It's been a wonderful Thursday. You guys, as I always say, Listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, and please, please share my podcast. Guys, these numbers are going up. They're going up, and it's all because of you guys. And I hope you guys have a very, very, very wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you guys on Sunday as we go ahead and go over all of the results of the college and the NFL weekend. So other than that, you guys, I will talk to you later.